on to record. Hello, everyone. This is Freedom Sagar at Indo-Indians, and we are going to have yet another episode of InFocus. InFocus is a very dear to my heart because we talk about talking to people who are groundbreaking, who are change makers, and this shines a light on the inspiring people and stories shaping communities in Indonesia and beyond. Each episode takes you into their journeys, their challenges, and their impact, offering authentic insights and fresh perspectives. From rising change makers to creative innovators like Sharad himself, InFocus celebrates the power to spark change, connect communities, and inspire us all. And today we have with us Sharad Sharan. He's a storyteller and a storyteller beyond borders. And here we are talking to a visionary filmmaker, a producer whose career spans over 100,000 minutes of television and record breaking films across India, Malaysia, and Indonesia. From the box office triumph of Ombak Rindu in Malaysia to his groundbreaking work at Cinema Art with MTech Group, Sharad has continuously pushed the boundaries of Southeast Asian storytelling. Most recently, his series Pura Pura Nikah won the Best Microdrama in Asia at the prestigious Content Asia Awards in Taipei, a milestone not only for his team but for Indonesian storytelling on the global stage. Hello, Sharad. Welcome to the InFocus.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Very well. Thank you. So happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Sharad, you've lived and worked across India, Malaysia, and Indonesia. How have these cultures shaped your storytelling voice as a filmmaker?
Uh, living in India and, being brought up there, and uh, Indonesia, Malaysia, and India, they have, like emotions work a lot. So when I came here in 1995, I was seeing that a lot of emotional stories does very well. So I think I chose the right formula and took the emotional stories and made everyone cry. So in Indonesia, I am I've been called like like that Sharan makes everyone cry. So so I think that helped me a lot being an Indian and trained in emotions. Because you know how India is, how they train you. So we were trained like that, and I think that helped me to really get to choose my stories in Indonesia, in Malaysia, for an expanse of 30 years, and I've been successful here doing these kind of stuff. Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, you know how you make people feel they will remember forever. So when you say you make people cry and when you really heart-touching stories that make people feel this depth of emotion.
Hmm.
And in fact, Ombak Rindu, the movie you made in Malaysia, broke box office records and earned critical acclaim. Looking back, what do you think made the story so powerful?
Same formula. It was a very emotional story, but it took time to search a story like that because we wanted to do something really different. So what we did, we were looking for the best-selling novels in Malaysia, and we came across this book who had like any Malaysian when you were talking that did you read this book, and they said yes, we have read the book. Like you go to a youngster, you go to old people, everyone was that, and it had a viewer like readers of around 2 million plus people have read the book. Then I said wow, and then when we got to know the story, I said this is an amazing story. And yes, when we made this movie, we had a very good star cast in the movie. And when the movie got released on the first day, it was like tsunami of people. There were every theater was booked. People were seeing five, six times, and like that, and people were crying, and there were tissues, and like that. We went to cinema visits. They were crying and crying, and like there was one. I remember one fan. He's saying that since the time he's seen this movie, she saw this movie. every day she came for 10 days to say the same movie, like he said, I'm going to see and again. And every time she's saying that I've really loved the way it was done. So I think that was one of the biggest success of ours and mine and, of Tarantala Pictures. And yeah, it was good because with that movie, we established ourselves as like a successful filmmaker, and then the history repeats again. We followed with best-selling novels, and we made series of movies. Like we made 10 movies in Malaysia, and out of that, five were really big box office movies. You know.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then with Ombak Rindu also, we were nominated and we won a lot of awards. We won an award for the best box office movie, best actress, best writer, best, director. There's so many awards we won, national award there, and we had around 14 awards we won for Ombak Rindu.
And now you won award for Pura Pura Nikah
Yeah.
at Content Asia Awards. What does this recognition mean to you personally and for the Indonesian storytelling globally? Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about this.
See, recognition is required for anyone's hard work that you put in. And when you recognize, then you feel you want to do more. You want to do more because, oh, wow, my thoughts, people are liking it. And, my work, people are liking it. So why not, give more and it incentivize you to, to do more work and better work. So Pura Pura Nikah was, the story of youngsters and this is like micro drama is very new in the world. Nobody knew 2 years back. It mostly started in China, that 1.5 minute story into 75 episode. And now, I also didn't know much. So we saw a lot of research. We did what it is, how is it, and all those things. And with that, then we wrote a beautiful story, and it was a youngster's story, and I think people really loved that, and we took stars in it, and we made this story, and this was also emotional, love story, thrilling, everything it had. And I think because of that, I think people have loved it, and we have already crossed around 11 to 12 million views on that. And yeah, and then we won this award. It was very, I never knew that we were going to win this award because we were competing with Korean, with Japanese, with Thai, with Singaporean, with Malaysian, so I was relaxing and suddenly my name came up there and I said, oh my God. I, I can't believe that. So I was feeling proud that at least, for Indonesia, I've done this, that for a whole across Asia, like we were fighting China and everyone. So out of that whole country, like, Indonesia winning is a proud moment for me and my entire crew who really worked hard, into this. I'm thankful to Cinema Art who gave me an MTech group who gave me this work that they trusted me, and I give them a successful story with awards and with a successful eyeballs also. Yeah,
Stupendous work, Sharad. Congratulations.
thank you.
At Cinema Art, you're leading adaptation of Korean box office hits for Indonesian audiences. What excites you most about blending Korean intellectual property with local culture?
So as a person, like being a creative, I always look for something new. Like when I came to Indonesia, I did a lot of, TV series, and it was emotional. And for the first time in Indonesia, they saw a double role of the same actress to play a mother and a daughter. Like it was a series called Janjiku, which was one of the highest market share. Like it had a market share of 82%
Hmm.
for 6 months. It went on, and that was like a groundbreaking thing for us. So yeah, so that whatever we do, we want to do with utmost care, and yeah, and make audience happy.
Yeah. So, and they keep coming back for more.
Yes. Yeah.
So, the industry is evolving very fast with streaming platforms and changing audience behavior. Where do you see Southeast Asian cinema and television heading in the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what for the next 5 years we are preparing. So, we signed a Korean co-production deal where we're going to make movies with Cinema Art, around 10 movies in this 3 to 4 years. And all are going to be remakes of all the Korean things, Korean stories, because they are very famous in Indonesia. They love Korean content. So I thought that why can't we devise a formula where we also take emotional stories from Korea, and we do. So we just finished first movie, which is called Swamiku Lukaku. It's an Indonesian movie which is funded by a Korean company and funded by MTech Group, which is Cinema Art. And we just finished one movie which is just in the product post production stage. It may release in the early next year, you know. And then our second movie is called My Wife is a Gangster. It's a Korean movie. It's a comedy action movie, which is a with the Korean director is going to direct that movie. And yeah, so next 3 to 5 years we are doing in that, in developing these stories, which will carve a new wave of cinema from Korean content. Yeah. So I feel that emotion, Korean content, which is loved in Asia, and we remake it and in a new garb, a new face. And I think if we give that, um, it may work. Yeah.
Sharad, you are one of the very few Indian filmmakers in Indonesia.
Yeah.
What gives you this superpower to be here in Indonesia? And as a filmmaker, what do you take from India? What do you take from the Bollywood, and what do you bring to the Indonesian cinema scene?
See, as an individual, I love what I do. I love movie making, and there's a little story towards it. When I was 8 years old, I told my parents, who are engineers, and my whole family is a doctor, an engineer, and I say I want to be a director and a filmmaker. And my father told me, "Are you crazy? Like, nobody in the move in our family. You are from a small state in Jharkhand, in Ranchi, and you want to become a filmmaker in Bombay. No, we don't know anyone." I say, "I don't know, but I'm going to become a filmmaker." And I think that passion inside me made me who I am and a successful person, because whatever I do it with love, with passion, and that we need to be genuine towards the story. So, like when you make a movie, everything has to be right. Your story, your cameraman, your writer, your screenplay writer, your director, your the crew that you choose in. So yeah, with passion, you create these steps, and then you go higher and higher and higher and higher. Yeah.
Right. Sharad, you make it sound like orchestrating magic. You have all these different parts of the puzzle coming together to make this magical movie that, makes people feel different emotions and then they can't forget it.
Mhm.
So, Sharad, finally, last question. What advice would you give to young filmmakers in Indonesia who dream of taking their stories to the global stage?
Uh, I want to say that you should do truthfully, with passion, whatever you do, and be genuine to your work, you know, because you should not cheat your work. You should not, you know, do anything which will hinder the story or your dream. So your dream will only be fulfilled if you take care of that story or a movie or a series or a micro drama. When you bring your passion into your work and you bring your full attention truthfully, then God and the universe will give you what you aim for. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharad. That was so interesting to talk to you, to your 8-year-old self who had envisioned becoming this amazing filmmaker.
Mm.
Congratulations for keeping
Thank
your
you.
passion and your dream alive and following it through.
Thank you.
Thank you for this time and thank you for this conversation.
Thank you very much, Poonam. Bye.